welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your very first time here. My name is Megan. I am 15 weeks pregnant with a baby girl that we're naming Juniper, and I also have an 18-month-old son named Rowan, and we do lots of motherhood and lifestyle videos on this channel. So if that sounds up your alley, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button. Today I'm going to be talking about everything that I'm going to be buying for our second baby. So when I was pregnant with Rowan, my son, I had a baby registry 1.5 miles long of all of the things that I thought that I needed. And now being a second time mom this time around, I've really narrowed it down to the necessities, and I'm correcting a lot of things that I wish I had purchased differently the first time around. Before I get into all of the items, I first want to mention that this is a collab with my friend Marissa. I first found Marissa's channel because we actually posted our pregnancy announcement videos for our second babies on the same day, and a bunch of you guys commented on my announcement, "Oh my gosh, Marissa Lyda just posted her announcement as well." And I went over and checked out her channel, and then like a crazy person messaged her on Instagram and was like, "Hey, I'm also a YouTube mom. I also live in the Pacific Northwest. We should be friends." And so we started talking then, and I'm so excited to get a chance to do this collab with her. Marissa's channel is so wonderful because she has a lot of motherhood content and vlogs and all the stuff that I know you guys love seeing here, but she also does a lot of content around budgeting. So if you've ever wondered how to budget for a baby, how to set up your monthly budget, exactly how much money a small YouTuber makes in a year, she does videos on all that kind of stuff. She also has really awesome budgeting templates that you can purchase. So I'm gonna leave her channel link down below, as well as in a card right here, so that you can click over and see her video on things that she's buying for her second baby as well. So now let's get into the juicy stuff. The first things I want to talk about are things that I wish I had done more research on and purchased when I was having Rowan to kind of future-proof myself for this baby and didn't. So hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. The first thing, the biggest thing, our biggest expense for this second baby is a double stroller. We got the Maxi Cozy Zelia, I think it's called, stroller, and we love it. It's really beautiful, but it does not convert into a double stroller. And it was not cheap. So I'm super bummed because now we have to buy a whole new stroller. The one that I'm leaning towards getting is the Mockingbird, but even that is pretty pricey. I want to say with the second seat kit, it's like $600. So definitely something we'll be saving up for over the next 6 months and putting some money away every month until, you know, we can order it maybe more in the spring and summer. If you have any other double stroller recommendations, please let me know. I definitely prefer light colors, and I really like when they have like the leather handles. I don't know, I'm a sucker for a good aesthetic. Second thing is a car seat. So unfortunately, we cannot use Rowan's newborn like bucket car seats because they were both in accidents. If you weren't around this summer and haven't heard this story, Matt and I both got hit by other cars within 3 weeks of each other. I got rear-ended and he got hit head on from a car that was driving on the wrong side of the road. It was pretty crazy. And unfortunately, we had the car seat in the car when he got in his accident. And if you didn't know this, when you get in an accident, your car seat is basically rendered. And so our insurance paid to replace it, but we got a big boy car seat for Rowan. And then we put our backup car seat in while we were waiting for the big boy car seat to get here. And then I got in an accident. So we had 2 infant car seats and now we have none, which is a big bummer. But what I'm going to be doing differently this time is, instead of going for the bucket seat, I am straight away going to go for a car seat that converts from infancy all the way to being a toddler. So we really did like our Maxi Cozy Miko car seat, and so this time we're going to get the Maxi Cozy Priya, I believe, in the Nomad sand color. We have the Kleck Foont for Rowan and we absolutely love it, but like I said, we got it because our insurance paid for it, and it's way too expensive to buy a second one of, so we're going to be going the Maxi Cozy route. The next thing that I'm going to be getting that I wish I had last time was the NB baby swaddles. I hope I'm saying that right. NB. These came highly recommended to us from several of our friends. They're like the kind that you Velcro. And we tried a few versions of that when Rowan was little and really never found one that worked for us. And so our friends who recommended this actually had a baby who was born, I think technically she was a preemie. She was right at like 36 or 37 weeks, and it worked for her. And we always found that Rowan's swaddles were too big for him. So we tried the Halo ones, we tried the Swaddle Me ones, we tried just like the muslin kind, the stretchy kind. So this time we're gonna get some of the NB baby ones and hope that those work a little better. I haven't used them, so I can't tell you yet whether they work, but they, like I said, were very highly recommended by our friends. Something we're also looking at getting for baby number 2 down the line when she's about 6 months old is the Mushi silicone dinnerware. So I got bamboo plates and bowls and spoons for Rowan, and they're beautiful and we love them and the suction works very well, but they are not dishwasher safe. And I desperately wish I had gotten something that was dishwasher safe. So that's a mistake I made last time that I will not make this time. And I think that will just be a much better, easier fit. And I'm also gonna get 2 sets so that we can have one that we're washing and one that we're using, which is also something I didn't do with Rowan early enough. This one's a little bit controversial, but I'm also planning on getting a changing pad that doubles as a scale. The one that I'm looking at specifically is the one from Hatch. And we have had Hatch's sound machines basically since Rowan was born and highly, highly recommend them. I'll actually talk later about the one that we're gonna get for this baby, but I was so anxious in the early days of breastfeeding, not knowing if Rowan was gonna get enough or if he was getting enough. And with the changing pad that doubles as a scale, you can weigh them before the feed and after the feed and get kind of a rough sense of how much they've had to drink. And like I said, this can be a little bit controversial because some people are like, well, it's not 100% accurate and it can cause more anxiety. But for me, I would rather have the peace of mind of knowing like, okay, she got, you know, X number of ounces, it's probably fine. Or like, wow, she didn't really drink that much. Let's see if she wants some like pumped milk or something like that. So that's something I'm gonna try out. And then I did have to mention one postpartum item that I'm getting for me this time around that I didn't get last time. And that is the Frida Mom perineal cushion. And this is my #1 postpartum tip, is get a perineal cushion, like basically a donut like hemorrhoid pillow, because you are so swollen and so sore down there and you have to spend so much time sitting and nursing. It's just not a great situation unless you have the donut pillow. And last time I just used the blow up one that they had at the hospital, but I was always kind of like worried that it was gonna pop and stuff. So this time I'm gonna actually get the Frida Mom one. And I think it also has like a heating or cold pack slot and like some other features. So I'm a big fan of Frida Baby and Frida Mom, so I'm sure it's gonna be great. The last thing that I really wish I had gotten when Rowan was a newborn that I didn't is a wipe warmer. And I know this sounds excessive, and it sounded excessive to me as a first time mom. I was like, really? Like they have to have a wipe warmer? I feel like they'll be fine with just the regular wipes. But here's the kicker. When you're changing your baby in the middle of the night, the cold wipe on the booty wakes them up and it's harder to get them back to sleep. So I'm gonna go for it this time. They're only like 30 bucks. I just feel like it will help baby girl hopefully get better sleep and kind of just be able to do dream feeds almost in the night. So that's something that I am excited to invest in and I feel like will make a difference. Now going on to things that I didn't necessarily do wrong last time, but things that we just need this time because we need doubles or it's something new that I want to try. First one obviously is a crib. We are getting a second crib for baby girl because Rowan will be about 2 when she is born and he's still in his Issaquah crib right now, and I'm not planning on transitioning him to a toddler bed until he's around 3. And even when we do, his Issaquah crib can become a toddler bed, so that's just his bed. I'm not too worried about getting him out of it in time so that the baby can use the crib. That being said, that same Issaquah crib, which is the Sniglar, is impossible to get right now because of all of the supply chain shortages. So I think we're going to try to get a crib on Facebook Marketplace. My goal and plan is to get a kind of vintage cottagecore looking white one, but that's actually modern because I want the modern safety standards. So a vintage inspired but modern crib. Something else that we just need a second one of is the Hatch sound machine. So we've had the bigger Hatch sound machine and the smaller little like travel sized one. And I'm gonna get the travel sized one again for this baby. The bigger one is cool because you can use it as a light and all that kind of stuff, but we let our baby sleep in a dark room, so that's not really a feature that I need. And the little one is 40 bucks, which is a great deal, and it's lasted us really well over the last like year plus. So we're gonna be getting that one again. We're also obviously gonna get her own pacifiers. We do choose to give our kids a pacifier after like the appropriate amount of time. And Rowan took the bibs ones. And I have a few different kinds for baby girl just in case she doesn't like one kind or only likes one kind. But the ones that I'm really hoping that she'll take are the Frig natural rubber ones that are shaped like little daisies because I think they're so sweet. So I got a few of those and I'm really hoping that she likes them. them so I can get a bunch more in lots of different colors. Something that we're upgrading this time around that was a huge lifesaver with Rowan is a swing. Now I know a lot of people don't love swings because your baby will fall asleep in them, and some people think that they become dependent on the movement, but sleep habits and associations don't form until 3 or 4 months old, and we needed it with Rowan. And sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. So we actually had a free one from like a Buy Nothing group on Facebook that we got, and by the end of the time Rowan was using it, it was really starting to give out on us, and like the noises weren't working anymore, and it was going really slow, and the battery was draining super quickly. So this time we're going to upgrade to the Graco Soothe My Way one, and I chose this one for 2 reasons. The first one is that the top pops off and becomes like a rocker that you can put them on the ground and like let them sit in it. I love the Charlie Crane rockers, but they're just so expensive, so we're gonna get a twofer. And the second reason is that it's very neutral, and I love that it's not super brightly colored. I just feel like it'll fit nicely in our home, and sue me for being a beige mom, but I'm a beige mom. And then 2 things that are entirely new to us that we've never had before are bows. I know it's like such a little thing, but when I found out I was having a girl, the thing that I was the most excited to buy were bows. And I have an extensive collection of bows for her now. I think she has like over 20. And I have been getting them A, from small shops, and B, in like multi-packs, so that they're a really good deal. And I actually think that this one is a money saver, because rather than buying a million dresses, I've kept it to like 1,000 and I'm just gonna put bows with all of the outfits that Rowan wore. Not that you have to have like a very like girly outfit. I really do believe in gender neutral clothing, but I think it's fun to just kind of like add a little bow and like turn boy outfits into girl outfits. So she'll wear pretty much everything that Rowan wore as a newborn. And then the last thing, which isn't like baby gear, but it is baby related, is wallpaper. We're gonna splurge on floral wallpaper for an accent wall in her nursery. And I wanted to write this one down because when I was doing the like baby budget, this was actually a pretty big line item, because wallpaper is expensive, and even to cover like one wall, it's like 200 bucks. So I thought I would mention it because that did go into our planning, and there were other areas where I chose cheaper alternatives to make room for that wallpaper. And then of course we'll buy all of the regular stuff, diapers, and probably a few extra cute little outfits and things like that. But those are all of the big things that I'm buying for baby number 2. I think it's so interesting to hear about what other people are getting for their kids, because A, you get good product recommendations, and I think it's also cool to see what people think is a necessity versus not a necessity. So if you want another point of view on this, go ahead and watch Marissa's video. Again, I'll link it in a little card up here. And if you're here from Marissa's channel, hi, thank you so much for coming over. Like I said, we do a lot of like day in the life of a mom with a toddler, pregnant, and then I do a lot of like educational mom content as well. So I would love it if you would stick around and subscribe so we can be friends. Thank you guys all so much for watching this video. I love you a lot, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!